Herzlich willkommen zur Montagsgesellschaftsveranstaltung heute Abend. Welcome to the Montagsgesellschaft, welcome to the Diplomatic Council. We will speak in 2 languages tonight, but mostly in English because most of the participants don't speak perfectly English. Most of the participants don't speak perfectly German, so that's why we use both languages, but mainly we'll speak in English. Let me introduce you to our guests tonight. The topic is Libya. Wir sprechen heute Abend über Libyen und sprechen über die Entwicklungsmöglichkeiten in Libyen, schauen uns das Land, was eines der reichsten Länder Afrikas ist, was ich im Vorfeld auch nicht wusste, aber jetzt gelernt habe in dem Zusammenhang mit der Veranstaltung, schauen uns die Entwicklung dieses Landes an. Wir heißen herzlich willkommen, we welcome the Ambassador of Germany in Libya, Mr. Much, Your Excellency, Mr. Much, Herr Botschafter Much, deutscher Botschafter in Libyen. Herzlich willkommen. We also invited the Ambassador of Libya in Germany, and he wanted to join. Unfortunately, he couldn't come because he has to stay in hospital tonight. Something happened a few days ago, so he's unfortunately not with us. But Mr. Professor Dr. El Amin is the cultural attaché of the embassy. Thank you, of the embassy in Germany of Libya. Nice that you're here, nice that you could make it. Welcome. Ferner begrüßen wir Herrn Marc Neumann, er ist Geschäftsführer von MAN Ferrostal für Libyen. He has been in this function for many years. He knows Libya very well. He knows all the details. He knows all about oil industry in Libya. Will be interesting to listen to you. Will be interesting to talk to you. Welcome. Einer unserer wichtigsten, and I switch into English because you just understand a little bit of German. One of our guests from Libya, he directly came from Libya to our event tonight, is Mr. Aneizi. He's working as a, we talked before, I said that I'll introduce you as a lobbying person between politics and economy in Libya. He's also in charge of working as a representative for Schindler Aufzüge, Schindler elevators, and also for Mitsubishi Electronics in Libya. It's great that you made all the way from Libya to the Montagsgesellschaft event and the Diplomatic Council event. Thank you for coming. Wir rutschen wieder auf die deutsche Ebene. Herr Klaus-Peter Wilch, Sie sind ein bekannter Abgeordneter des Deutschen Bundestages, hier aus der Ecke, aus Wiesbaden. He's member of the German Parliament, Mr. Klaus-Peter Wilch. Sie sind wiederholt in Libyen gewesen, Sie sind im Wirtschaftsausschuss, Sie haben sich mit dem Land beschäftigt. Sie sind, so nehme ich das wahr, der erste Ansprechpartner für deutsch-lybische Beziehungen in Deutschland, von der politischen Ebene aus, von der Bundestagsebene aus. Herzlich willkommen, welcome, nice that you're here. Die Dame in der Runde wird zuletzt begrüßt. Normalerweise natürlich zuerst. Aber Frau Paschola übernimmt die Moderation am heutigen Abend. Carola, ich hoffe, du siehst es mir nach, dass ich dich jetzt als Letzte mit vorstelle in der Runde. Frau Paschola ist Mitglied der Montagsgesellschaft. Frau Paschola ist im Alumni-Vorstand von Harvard hier in Frankfurt-Rhein-Main. Sie ist eng behaftet mit internationalen Themen und wir haben uns gefreut, dass sie sich bereit erklärt hat, die Moderation für den heutigen Abend zu übernehmen. Sie hat sich sehr intensiv mit dem Thema Libyen im Vorfeld jetzt beschäftigt und ist eine Libyen-Expertin in Vorbereitung zu der Veranstaltung. Vielen Dank, Carola Paschola, danke für die Bereitschaft, die Moderation zu übernehmen in perfektem Englisch. Ich habe noch eine weitere Person, die ganz wichtig ist in dem Zusammenhang heute Abend, das ist der Herr Döringer. Kai Döringer, herzlich willkommen. Herr Döringer ist die Kontaktperson im Hintergrund, die es möglich gemacht hat, dass wir die Veranstaltung heute auf die Beine stellen konnten. Herr Döringer ist als, ich sage jetzt einfach mal, Gesundheitslobbyist oder Gesundheitskonsultant zwischen verschiedenen Ländern in Aktion, unter anderem zwischen Libyen und Deutschland und hat in der Funktion, ich habe ihn kennengelernt, wir haben darüber gesprochen, haben gesagt, Mensch, ein solches Thema wäre spannend für die Montagsgesellschaft und das Diplomatic Council. Herr Döringer hat hier viele Strippen im Hintergrund gezogen. Vielen Dank und herzlich willkommen. Last but not least möchte ich noch dem Diplomatic Council auf jeden Fall danken, dass Diplomatic Council die Veranstaltung heute Abend mit unterstützt. Liebe Hang Nguyen, die als Generalsekretärin heute zu Gast ist und auch im Anschluss an die Veranstaltung noch einen kleinen Part übernehmen wird. Und natürlich liebe Mitglieder des Diplomatic Council, herzlich willkommen. Ja, klatschen. Ja. Und dann noch ein ganz kleiner administrativer Punkt von meiner Seite. Wir planen in roundabout in 5-6 Monaten eine kleine Folgeveranstaltung zum Thema Libyen, zum Thema Wirtschaftsbeziehungen zwischen Deutschland und Libyen. Und würden Sie auch gerne dazu einladen, dann allerdings in etwas kleinerer Runde, auch hier in der Villa Rothschild. Ich lasse jetzt mal eine Liste umgehen, wer Interesse hat, dass wir ihn dazu einladen, möge bitte seine Adresse und seine E-Mail-Adresse mit draufschreiben. Wir kommen dann entsprechend auf Sie zu. So, jetzt the floor is yours. Carola, bitte übernehme.
Vielen Dank. Ja, herzlich willkommen heute Abend. Ich werde hauptsächlich Englisch sprechen. Wir haben einen Gast, der lieber Deutsch sprechen wird, aber wir haben hier auch einen Gast, der Deutsch nicht versteht. Deshalb, Sie verstehen Englisch und deshalb hoffe ich, dass es okay, wenn wir hauptsächlich in Englisch sprechen. Ja? Okay, so what I'm planning to do tonight is to do it in 2 rounds. First of all, I would like to speak about the political situation in Libya. That's the first round. And then the second round will be about the business situation, the business opportunities in Libya, and especially for German businesses. And after these 2 rounds, I will open it up for you, all of you. So please keep your questions to the end. You'll have an opportunity to ask your questions. So starting with the political situation in Libya, and Ambassador Much, I would like to start with you. I mean, when we look at the German media, at the German press, we read a lot about unrests in Libya, concerns about the stability of the country. And of course, in preparation for this panel discussion, I had a look at the website of the German embassy in Tripoli. And what I saw were travel warnings. You know, as a German, you were warned not to go to Libya. The website speaks about the risk of kidnapping. You read that Lufthansa is currently not flying to Libya because of security concerns. Could you tell us about the situation in Libya? What is true? How dangerous is it? And what is your perspective?
How it's working.
That's on, yeah. So you want to know everything about Libya in 5 minutes? Okay.
The major points, you know.
Well, first of all, I would like to say a word of thanks to the Montagsgesellschaft and to the Diplomatic Council for this initiative. I'm really pleasantly surprised to see that so many people have come. And I think it shows that Libya is an interesting country. And to come to your country, it's a country that is showing up in the German press, usually when something goes wrong, when another bomb is exploding or something serious happened. But living in Libya, and I'm there for 1 year now, you start having a more nuanced view. First of all, if something happens from the German perspective, it looks as if something happened in all of Libya. And when you're there, it happened in such and such, in the city such and such. So it's much more local, and you start differentiating about what's happening. And there are places in Libya which I would consider absolutely safe, where you can go and travel with the usual amount of prudence, but not more than in any other country. And there are other places where I would definitely not advise to go to. So my first point is, from a local perspective, the situation is much more fine-tuned, as you would believe if you just read the bad news in the German press. And secondly, and that's a very important point really, reading the press means you look at what happened yesterday or 2 days ago. Reading the press gives you a very short-term view on Libya. But I think to do justice to Libya, its potential and its future, you have to have a medium or long-term view on it. And then you'll find that even if many things go wrong, and I will not try to be naive, right now many things do go wrong in Libya, and there are reasons for concern. But in the medium or long term, there are several factors which I can explain later on, but I don't want to prolong my statement too much, which that it will live up to its potential in the medium range. And I think the best proof for that is that the big German companies are still there. Maybe they're holding a little bit their breath right now, waiting for better times, but they do not go away. Maybe they reduce a little bit, but they do not go away, because they too know there is a potential in Libya. And maybe later on we can speak about the factors that make me believe that there is such a potential. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Professor El-Amin, mit Ihnen spreche ich Deutsch. Ja. Sie sind Libyer. Mich würde Ihre Perspektive interessieren in Bezug auf die politische Situation. Was sind denn die Stufen, die Aktionen, die jetzt passieren müssen, damit Libyen demokratisch und friedvoll wird?
Erstens, vielen Dank für die Einladung für Montagsgesellschaft. Viele Grüße von unserer Herr Botschafter Sanusi wollte gerne kommen, aber leider wegen seinem Gesundheitszustand nicht kommen. Und ich sollte ihn vertreten, und ich freue mich, Sie also alle in dieser Diskussionsrunde mit zu beteiligen. Wenn man die Lage in Libyen jetzt, was Herr Moch auch sagt, von weit oder von Medien hört, das denkt wie in Afghanistan oder in Somalien. Aber die Wahrheit ist nicht so. Es passieren manche Kämpfe oder Bomben gehen los irgendwo in einen Ort, aber das Leben läuft also normal. Wenn man 40 Jahre her zurückdenkt, dass man 40 oder genau 42 Jahre unter diktatorischer, militärischer Macht lebt, das wird nicht einfach von heute auf morgen Demokratie zu verlangen. Das Volk hat auch wir sagen, wir sind noch erste Klasse hier Demokratie. Wir müssen noch viel lernen. Aber es gibt viele positive Dinge, die in Libyen passierten innerhalb von die kurzer Zeit, die 2 oder 3 Jahren. Zum Beispiel, wir hatten schon 2 Wahlen und waren sehr gut gelaufen. Und wir hatten 3 Regierungen schon. Und ich denke schon, innerhalb von kurzer Zeit, wir werden den nächsten Parlamentenwahl, es wird am 25. Juni dieses Jahr. Und nach diesem Wahl, wir haben alle, wir sagen, das wird vielleicht die Stabilität kommen, wenn ein stabiles Parlament und danach kommt eine Regierung. Es wird die Politik besser. Und die Lage jetzt ist im Osten Libyens nicht normal. Wir sagen alle, das ist Höhepunkte. Das heißt, so schlimmer als was jetzt passiert, wird nicht. Es kann nur besser, dass die Leute sitzen zusammen und diskutieren ihre Zukunft. Und von meiner Perspektive kann ich nur sagen, nach dem nächsten politischen oder Wahlen wird Libyen anders aussehen und mehr stabil und kann man hoffen, dass es wenig Krieg oder Zusammenstoße auch im Osten Libyens. Das ist was ich sehe und was wir wünschen auch.
Okay. Dankeschön. Yeah. Mr. Neumann, as a business person, I have 2 questions for you. I mean, first of all, we heard that there are some security concerns. So as a businessman, how do you do business in that context? That's the first question. And the second question is, what do you expect from politics? What needs to happen on the political side for business to feel more comfortable about Libya?
Businessmen like to have the same things in all countries on this planet, which means stability, which means a political surrounding that provides security for doing business, for developing business, together with local partners, also with the employees that you're sending to a country. And this is not different in Libya. So the elections which are coming and the developments which hopefully the politics in Libya will take, that is something that we need for the economy and for the economic development of the country as well. And if you see that today the income of the country, which is mainly resulting from oil exports, cannot take place because a number of the oil ports, export ports, are blocked because of these political circumstances and the settlements between the different political parties which still have to take place, then you know that for sure for the economic development of the country this is not a positive situation. And from the company side, what Ambassador Much has mentioned, when you are in Libya, and our company is in Libya for more than 30 years under the names of MAN and Ferrostal, and we are spread from the western border to the eastern border, then of course you see it, number one, in a differentiated way. So there are camps and hubs in the oil and gas area which we cannot serve today because of security issues. And there are other areas in Libya where our business is going on, where we are talking with our clients and where we are executing our projects. Prospects are of course very good for Libya, that I would also confirm from the economy side, and this is for sure also one of the reasons why we are keeping our presence in the country, that from the general figures you have many reasons to believe that Libya can take a much better and easier route into a good future than other countries if we compare the whole North African and Near and Middle East area, where you have more structural problems than you have in Libya.
Mm-hmm. And on a daily basis, do you work with security companies, or how do businesses work in general? Maybe not just you. I mean,
yeah, what you are doing, of course, as a German company, which also is responsible for its employees that it's sending to Libya, and we do not have as an EPC contracting company, so means construction company, also doing complete plant projects. We do not have 5 or 10 people in Libya, but we have. We are in a 3-digit area, so you have to make considerations, of course, with the embassy, with external security companies also that are providing information both here on the European side, also on the Libyan side. You know, of course, many local people around your camps. You're in close contact with your clients, because also the oil and gas companies in Libya are in many cases joint ventures with international oil and gas companies, so they provide also security, and they have the same security issues for their employees. You always have to have a plan B and a plan C for evacuating your people, of course. We had to bring out, at the time of the revolution, within very few days, 1,200 people from Libya, because at that time business was really booming when these things started in February 2011. So we managed that, and we would be in a position when things are worsening to react quickly. But according to what we see on a daily basis up to now, we have not taken that step.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Aneizi, you're here as a lobbyist, but the first question I would like to ask you is as a Libyan citizen. And I know you have lived in international countries, so when you look at your country, what is your wish for Libya and what is your vision?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for this invitation, for Social Monday and Diplomatic Council, for having me today. It's a pleasure and honor to be with you. Well, of course, we, being a Libyan citizens, it's been always in my mind when Gaddafi is over, how we are going to proceed and to find the resolution for our country, because in Libya we almost forgot democracy practice. But what I foresee, we still have a good chance, good opportunity, because we are a wealthy country with a low population, with lots of potentials. I think what we are going through now is a learning process to practice democracy. But the vision when the revolution happened for all Libyans, that we need to improve the living standard. So at the end of the day, the only option we have is the election. And we also had this situation before, because Libya suffered from an occupation by the Ottoman Empire, the Turks, and then by the Italian. And then when we got liberated and we got independent, we also faced the same. We were 3 regions fighting, and then we came into the table and we discussed, and then we became a unified country, or united country, and then we started to flourish our economy. And we should also remember those days, and we need to sit around the table and discuss our future, where the potential is huge and the future is bright. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wilsch, we heard you traveled to Libya, you've seen the situation in Libya. When you look at the situation, where can the German government help Libya in its development, and what are the most important areas from your perspective where Libya needs external help?
Yeah, okay. First of all, thank you for the invitation, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. And in order not to take the flowers you don't deserve. I'm not a Libya expert. I've been, my unique selling point is I've been the last one to visit Libya last December, and was looking around there because, well, guys from my constituency, Döringer and Mr. Neumann, told me what's going on there, and they told me that no German politicians show up there, and that, well, Libya is waiting for Germans to come. And so I went there. So I think what is really important now, I was lucky because it was a rather calm period, the first 8th to 10th December last year. November riots were over, and the new ones hadn't started until then. So I felt completely safe there. I had no problems, and I really made the experience that the Libyan people are really well eager to meet us, to see Germans. Let's say in the field of infrastructure, in the field of medical care. In the field of well, safety technologies, in the field of well, helping to exploit the resources, and well, I was wondering that why well, too few people go over there. I think where we really, or first of all, Libyan people now need well, rule of law. They want to. When you face robbery, crime, or so, you want to have someone to go to, a police. Well, the rule of law. You want to have someone who takes care, and this is still a problem that has to be solved by Libya itself. Really have a powerful state government that takes care for the people. The second is, of course, you want to be able to live your all-day living, and well, to have your garbage put away, to have water, to have electricity, to have all this what you need for sparing a good life. And we are regarded, we Germans are regarded in Libya as well, people who are able to manage things, to make organizations run, to engineer things, and we should take an advantage out of that. There's a big openness for Germans, and I haven't met enough. So maybe you should wait another 3 or 4 weeks until the election is over and Ramadan is over, and then make it a new start. But we should take the opportunities to go there and to help Libya develop the country, and otherwise, on the other hand, take this opportunity to make good business in Libya.
Maybe another question. You were there in December. What surprised you most when you were there?
There had been well, a lot of people telling me, don't go there, this is very dangerous, and also on. And I went there and didn't feel a moment of threat. You were aware that you could come into a situation, well, like being on the wrong place at the wrong time, but this can happen to you everywhere in the world. So I felt completely safe. In night time, some shooting or so, but nothing that was really severe. I've been to Afghanistan and to Kosovo. These places were much more dangerous in my memory.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, I mean, looking at the business situation in Libya, Ambassador Moch, in 2011, Germany decided to abstain on the vote of the UN Security Council to intervene in Libya. Does this have a negative impact on how Germany is perceived in Libya? How is Germany perceived? And the decision in 2011, is this a disadvantage for German business now?
I think my answer to that question can be very short. I think the way we voted in the Security Council in 2011 does not affect our standing as a business partner in Germany. Either because some Libyans agreed with the way how we voted, or did not agree but do not hold a grudge against us because of that. I think that, I mean, I confirm what Mr. Wilsch said. My feeling too is that we are very welcome as Germans in Libya. First of all, because of the absence of negative factors. We have not been a colonial power, we are not playing power games in Libya, etc. And secondly, because we are liked for some qualities, like quality of the products, our qualities at work, etc. And people love Beckenbauer when he was in Libya in February or in March, I don't remember. He was really welcomed as if he was the Kaiser, and everybody said, finally the Kaiser is there. And I mean, this is the sort of feelings that many Libyans have for us, a very uncomplicated and warm friendliness, which makes it very nice and pleasant to work there.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at German companies, do they contact you because they are interested in starting activities in Libya? Do you see also signs of increased activity?
Yes, in fact, we have good relations with German companies in Libya. To be honest, my personal feeling is that the very large German companies present in Libya do need us much less than the medium or smaller companies. So what we did was to set up a business circle where we meet regularly with German companies representatives to exchange information either about daily problems in doing business, also helping each other through information, etc. And also cooperation in the security field. I mean, if worst comes to worst, I think we would find common solutions between the embassy and German companies to take care of our citizens.
Mm-hmm. And do you have an estimate how many German companies are active in Libya and how many German business people live in Libya?
We believe that there are about 150 people permanently, 150 Germans permanently in Libya, but this number may be too low because we do not know exactly how many Libyans, Germans, mainly German ladies, are married to a Libyan, living there happily, are well integrated, and do not make their presence known to us. That may happen.
In companies, do you have a number for the companies, an estimate?
No, not really. I would say 50, something like that.
Okay. Professor Enamin, Sie, ein Sektor, der natürlich ganz bekannt ist, ist der Energiesektor. Wenn man an Libyen denkt, denkt man natürlich auch immer an den Energiesektor. Ich weiß, Sie haben Expertise in diesem Sektor. Was ist Ihre Perspektive in Bezug auf Energie? Und wir hatten ja auch von Herrn Neumann gehört, dass es gar nicht so einfach ist in dieser Industrie, weil manche Häfen blockiert sind und weil manche Dinge einfach nicht so funktionieren.
Ja, das ist eine sehr wichtige Frage. Bevor ich über Energie, ich will auch kurz über die anderen Potenziale. Viele wissen nicht, zum Beispiel die Bevölkerung in Libyen, ca. 6 Millionen Einwohner. 2/3 davon sind die Jugendlichen, die unter 40 Jahre vielleicht. Und das sage ich immer, das ist die sehr wichtigste potenzielle Parameter, ist das in der gesamten Gleichungen, wenn man sagt, das ist das Leben. Wenn ich hier in Deutschland fahre oder mit meinem Auto oder sehe, das ist überall Windenergie, Windmühlen, Solarenergie auch. Wenn Sie wissen, leider in Libyen, wenn Sie durch Tripolis, die Hauptstadt, Sie finden vielleicht kein einziges Solarpanel in die ganze Stadt. Obwohl jeder weiß, dass wie energiereich mit Sonne in Libyen. Jetzt zur Zeit gibt es Probleme mit Erdöl, wissen Sie alle. Streiten manche Leute und viele machen die Felder zu, und manche machen die Häfen zu, wegen verschiedener Gründe. Manche wollen mehr Geld haben, manche wollen das Land teilen. Sie wissen nicht, dass die Ressourcen in Renewable Energie, also Sonnenenergie und besonders Sonnenenergie, ist Libyen mehr reich. Wenn man sagt zu ihnen, okay, wir stoppen Erdöl für 1, 2, 3 Jahre und wir konzentrieren nur an Sonnenenergie. Es wird Libyen ausreichen, diese Energieart, und kann man auch importieren. Ich glaube, Sie wissen über die Desert Tech Projekt. Ist Deutschland und andere europäische Länder auch sollten dieses Projekt in Nord-Afrika bauen. Und das soll viel Sonnenenergie von Libyen oder nicht von Libyen, vielleicht Algerien oder Marokko nach Europa schaffen. Also wie gesagt, die Energie ist Libyen sehr reich. Die Reserven von Erdöl, man redet von fast 50 Milliarden Barren Reserven. Gas, vielleicht Milliarden oder Tausende von Milliarden auf Kubikmeter auf Erdgas. Also Energie in Libyen ist es überhaupt kein Problem. Wenn man auf dieser Field konzentriert, wir werden vielleicht die reichsten Land in dem ganzen Gebiet oder vielleicht weltweit. Und wir hoffen durch die Deutsche, weil ich weiß, dass die deutschen Firmen oder Deutschland ist es sehr weit entwickelt in erneuerbare Energie, besonders in Solarenergie. Und ich habe auch, als ich in Forschung gearbeitet in Universitäten, wir haben auch Kontakte mit deutschen Wissenschaftlern, und dass die Technologie hier transferiert nach Libyen, und dadurch kann Deutschland Energie von Libyen auch nicht nur von Erdöl, sondern auch von Sonnenenergie.
Okay, danke schön. Mr. Neumann, I mean, as a business person, again, the question that I asked Ambassador Moch, I mean, how do you feel as a representative of a German company? Do you get positive reaction? Does it make a difference to be German? That's one question. You're also probably being approached by German businesses quite a lot who are interested in going to Libya. What is your advice for these companies?
Yeah, I can only confirm that there is no disadvantage of being a German. The Germans, what our ambassador has mentioned, we are seen as good project managers, as good engineers, also as reliable partners who are fulfilling what they have agreed in the beginning. So in most of the cases, the Germans are complicated to reach to an agreement in the beginning with, but once you have reached to an agreement, you are also getting what you have signed for, and this is the view that the people have on our German performance. And of course, with the commitment to the country, we are also trying to keep that view and to prove that this view is correct. It's not only our company, but also other German companies which are active in Libya since decades, and which I'm always saying, if you don't run away when it's raining and the sun is not shining, this is something which is counting in these markets a lot. And I believe we have quite a number of German companies that are active in Libya since decades, and So we will also, with our Libyan friends and partners, go through this little bit more rainy days. Of course, the potential, what we have learned, the fact that we are doing only oil and gas in Libya is not because we only are capable of doing oil and gas, but in the past, the economy of Libya was developed mainly focused on exporting oil. So already the gas is to a big extent untapped, not to talk about solar, about power, about mid-sized companies, about food industries. There are so many potentials in Libya that have not been used in the past because the economy, especially before the revolution, was centralized just in pumping oil out of the country and earning money. And these things have to be developed together with Libyan private companies, which have not been existing before revolution because that was an issue that was not developing. So now it can develop. And there's a lot of initiatives, and I'm also board member of NUMOV, which is the German economic organization for the Near and Middle East, and there we are also doing conferences like this, where we are bringing together Libyan private companies with German mid-sized companies. Of course, we can help them when they want to come to Libya also with our experience, but I believe in Germany we also have good business organizations that are capable of doing this, and every event that takes place is helping to for the two sides to get more knowledge about the real situation. And I'm the last one who has not thanked Montagsgesellschaft up to now for this meeting, but this is another stone which will help to have a different view on Libya, because everybody who is leaving this room hopefully has some more insight than before, and will not just believe what he's seeing in the news then, in TV.
Okay, thank you. Ambassador Moch, you wanted to say, comment? So.
Well, if I may, just a very brief addition to the last point. I met a couple of persons, both within the Libyan government, but also in Libyan banks, who are very well aware that even if Libya is incredibly rich for oil and gas, that it has to develop a future beyond oil and gas, and they're thinking about that and preparing for that. And I think there is a potential way beyond oil and gas. Libya could become a regional hub for all sorts of businesses in the banking, insurance, health, etc. sectors. I mean, you can name it. It also has a great touristic potential. So, but the point is that Libyans are aware of that, and although they don't have the capacity to put that into action right now, I think it's very well on their minds that the future of Libya is not just oil and gas. And if you take, for instance, as an example, the city which I consider to be the most prosperous right now and the most dynamic economically, which is Misrata, none of their economy is based on oil. Nothing. They have a big steel company, factory. They have a great dairy, yogurt, milk, etc. factory. They have a free trade zone and plenty of other things, but none of that is oil. And they make the point, we can be very successful even without oil. Sorry for the short interruption.
Thank you. It's to Mr. Aneizi. So, as a lobbyist, you're a business expert, and you speak to a lot of international companies. I mean, the first question is, how active are German companies compared to companies from other countries? And the second question is, apart from energy, we heard a lot about energy, what are the other industries where you see the most potential for foreign investors?
Well, I would say, following to Ambassador Moch opinion, that Libya is not really an oil and gas country. Libya has many other potentials. When you look into the Libya land, it has a major part of the land is a desert. And there, for example, nitrogen production technology has a huge potential. Cement industries, for example, glass production, where we have a natural gas and the Sika, sand. There are many, many other potential. Tourism industry, financial center for the North African countries and Mediterranean, can be the hub as international trade, free zones, industrial zones. So when we consider Libya, it has a long coastline where we can also have an international trade between Europe and Africa and be the gate to Africa. So the potential, when you count the number of opportunities there, it's huge. But the issue is how to put the strategy to utilize the wealth of the country and distribute it to the region. I myself foresee mid-term opportunities in oil and gas, where we can utilize oil and gas and transform it into petrochemical. Because we can, in Libya, double or maybe triple the income or the GDP if we utilize the oil. Now, what we do is we only export oil, crude oil. But we are not really utilizing the oil that we can produce and refine the oil inside the country. I mean, the potential is huge, but we don't have the capacity, we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the skills, we don't have the experience. That's why we would seek strategic partners like Germany to support us, utilizing and benefiting from this huge potential that we have. And I believe that the Germans also are very aware of the but personally, I believe that we in Libya should focus on building the human being. We should focus on education to overcome the suffer past years, because the mindset in Libya is still not up to the level to understand or to see the huge potential of the country.
Mm-hmm. And how active are German companies compared to companies from other nations? Do you see a difference?
I would say, of course, Germany has a great image in Libya in terms of quality, in terms of reliability, in terms of accountability, and so on. I give you an example. In Libya, like the dairy products, German products is number one. There is no competition there. So this is like in people's mind. When it comes to dairy, it's a German. Again, energy, automobile industry, power plants. There are some specific industries that we only, when we prioritize our needs, we say the German has the priority number one. But I would say that even during Gaddafi regime period, we did not see really a serious investment from Germany into the country. Mm-hmm. So they only look into contracts with the government, but not really investing inside the country. So being a private sector, I would say that the future is for the private sector, because the contribution of the private sector in the past was very minor. It was about 15%. What we aim in the future is to increase the contribution of the private sector to reach 60%, where it can employ around 70% of the workforce in Libya. So by enabling, enforcing the private sector in Libya, lots of industries will flourish. because the private sector is the one to be accountable of. By experience all over the world, the state sector never succeeds.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Mr. Neumann, I saw you nodding, and I would like your comment on what Mr. Aneizi said, and in particular, you employ a significant number of people in Libya. How easy is it to find qualified people?
Yeah, that is. I believe we have when we are tackling this problem and this issue that in the past it was complicated because the whole issue of education of the people and of building universities, of integrating the universities with international partnerships and so on. That these were all things that you have to develop, and these have to be developed from very various angles. So you cannot just order that now it has to happen. In the past, from time to time, it was ordered that from tomorrow onwards or from next month onwards, we have to employ X% of Libyans. So this did not work because these Libyans were not available in that educated format that you were needing them. So it has to be developed from the angles that you strengthen the universities, that you strengthen the cooperation with Libyan companies. Now we are also finding easier already Libyan companies that are also willing to grow and that are ready to grow and where you can team up with, because in the past sometimes it was for a private Libyan companies even not so much wanted to grow, because then you became known to the government, which sometimes was not good and things like that. So now we see already that partnerships with Libyan companies can develop in another form than it was possible until some years ago, and I'm completely agreeing with the other panelists here that that will be the way for the future. And upstream oil and gas will always stay in the hands of the state. That's what is happening in all the countries on this planet. But already when it comes to downstream, to petrochemical industries, to all energy-intensive industries, so when you're building the power plants, then you can also go for energy-intensive productions that can be much more competitive than in Europe. If you see it as a master plan, we have things. We have seen things in the Gulf region where also countries with a similar point that they have abundant oil and gas, and otherwise they don't have too much. They have developed in the last decades into a status where today we would call them developed countries, and everybody is telling that this is something that can be done. And from the prospects of Libya, if you see the geographic location, if you see that the size of the country, the coastlines and so on, for sure there is potential in Libya to go the same way. It will not go until within 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. This is a long way, and we can only hope that the Libyan people will have the view that it cannot happen within 1 year, that they be the second Dubai or the second Qatar, but the potential to go there within the next 10 years, 20 years, and to have a positive future for your 2/3 of young generation that you have in Libya, this is without any doubt there.
Thank you. Mr. Wiltsch, you still have the outside perspective. You were in Libya. I mean, if you were a business person, would you invest in Libya? And what is your advice to German companies interested in investing in Libya?
It depends on the business you're doing. I think there are really opportunities where I don't want to say no risk, no fun, but when you want to earn money, you have to risk something, of course. And I think in special sectors, it's rather easy to help the country to develop and make a good business out of it. We were just talking about that they are, well, just exporting the crude oil. It was really funny when I was there in a country that is, well, a big barrel of oil. They were queuing up at the gas stations because you don't raffinate any oil, you just import gas. So for the cars. And there was the harbor blocked, and so people were queuing up at the gas stations in order to fill their tanks for their cars. I think what really is a big concern is is border control, border monitoring, where we have technologies and could help them. This is maybe not a thing for small and medium-sized companies, but for some big players who did it in Saudi Arabia too, or Airbus Space and Defense company or others. But I also think that in all these topics like, well, making communities run, taking care for irrigation, taking care for wastewater management, for garbage management and all that, where we are very experienced in, we really have good opportunities to make business there.
Okay. So with this question, I would like to open it to the public. So please, it's up to you for questions. There in the back. Do we start?
I can speak up. So I've followed with the oil and gas industry, and it seems to be, I'm not sure if it's really getting better. So I talked to this morning to the head of finance here of OMV. They're exporting zero right now. E&I is also not doing much better. So I wonder, I mean, if you compare the situation now to 1 or 2 years ago, what has to happen in order to increase the output and to export more? I mean, we have the eastern side, which of course has a history of tribes and problems. So there's no even common military control, and OMV and others say maybe other countries who have a better potential that used to be behind Libya. So I want to know a bit more why you think you have a good prospect, especially how can you control or have progress in the eastern part of the country, so at least we get the oil export running, and that's, I guess, the base before you talk about developing other industry. You need at least the developed oil industry to export, to get in some money.
So who wants to answer this question?
I believe the answer is very simple. As I have mentioned before, the harbors have to open. And this is, I mean, it sounds very simple, but this is the only point why the Libyan oil exports are at the level where they are. You have, unfortunately, because of the existing pipelines systems within Libya, those oil and gas companies which have their concessions in the east, like Wintershall or like OMV and so on, they cannot earn money in Libya because the harbors are blocked. Companies which are exporting through the western terminals, like Akakus, which is the joint venture with Repsol, or also partially Eni, they can export. So this is very simple, and there a political solution has to be reached, and then immediately the oil exports will go up, same as they did after the revolution. We were already at production levels in 2012 or until the first half of 2013, which were much higher, and you don't have to invest anything. So what we are doing is doing maintenance, and that is what the oil and gas companies are doing. They're keeping their pipelines free. They're just having some runs within the country so that on day X, they can immediately export again, and this day X has to come with a political solution.
Professor Elamin, do you also want to come? Wollen Sie auch was dazu sagen?
Noch dazu, ja. Stabilität, Sicherheit, das ist, wenn die stabile, also Politik und Sicherheit. Wie erwähnt, wenn die zwei Sachen, dann, das ist, wie gesagt, kurz nach der Revolution war der von 0 auf 1,6. So schnell ging das Million Barrel pro Tag. Wir waren auch überrascht, zu kurzer Zeit, also so schnell, rasch und wieder der Export so hoch. Wir können nur hoffen, dass das eine Stabilität und Sicherheit, dass von heute auf morgen so schnell wieder hochgeht.
Mhm. Danke. Bitte schön, da hinten.
Working in Libya since 30 years. So what is your experience in regard of legal practice in Libya regarding the stability following the laws, also in regard to taxation?
Thank you for the complicated question, because you know these things are never so easy to answer. I mean, I could say that fortunately we could avoid legal quarrels in the past, and that is I think one thing that goes also for every country where you're working in, that before going to courts, and going to courts is a complicated thing, no matter if you're taking a state-owned partner to an ICC arbitration, or if you go to a local court in your area, in your host country. So the recommendation always to look for a solution is, of course, something which comes from practical life. There are companies, there are lawyers, experienced lawyers in Libya which can help you when it comes to legal questions. There are also experienced tax auditors in Libya that can help you when it comes to all your tax auditing. We know that there are also international companies, Grant Thornton or others, that have their partners in Libya that they are cooperating with, and that we are cooperating with since decades. So yes, you can solve all those points and all those issues, and for sure the embassy or those companies there, it's not only Ferrostal, others like Siemens or Bilfinger or you name them, Wintershall, they're also there since decades, and usually we will not hesitate to tell you that who is our partners, and for sure these tax advisors or lawyers and so on, they are interested in more international clients, so it will work.
Thank you. There was a question here.
You spoke about the great potential in Libya and the great chances, but in my eyes there is also a great potential of instability and danger because of the weapons. In Libya, after the revolution, there were a lot of firearms that the rebels get. Do you see also this problem, and is there a chance for the state of Libya to get the weapons back?
Well, in fact, that is a big problem. Gaddafi was a really great collectionist of weapons of all sorts, and has piled up stockpiles of arms which are way needs. Is the microphone working?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. But let me use this question to speak about mental point concerning violence in Libya. It's true there's a lot of violence, and there's also shooting almost on a daily basis. But if you're a little cynical, you can also say, considering how many weapons there are in Libya, and considering how much people shoot every day, the number of injuries and of dead is actually very low. There was, for instance, one incident when a militia from Zintan entered Tripolis on one of the last days of April, which involved almost a whole day of fighting. And in the course of these events, 3 people were killed, although people were shooting all day long. Microphone still working?
More or less. Hardly.
Stepwise, yes. But why is this so? It's always hard to make judgments about people in general, and I try to avoid that. But one of the things I learned in Libya is that violence, at least that's an impression I have, is not used in order to conquer anything or to impose yourself. Nobody, no militia, no group in Libya wants to conquer the state and take over power in a military way or in an armed way. Violence or armed violence is used in order to stake out what your political position is, to increase your negotiating power, to prepare for a political solution of a problem. The normal cycle is that Libyans, once the problem is very deep, sit together, as Mr. Aneizi said, sit together and negotiate a solution. And the displays of violence beforehand are only meant to increase your negotiating position, but not to really change anything. And I think that explains a little bit why, in spite of all these weapons, and I don't want to condone that, but the violence we have seen so far is relatively low. I mean, always in proportion to the level of weapons that you have. So, to be fair to Libya, I think we have to realize that the real Libyan way of solving problems is not through violence, but through negotiations. And I've seen in 1 year is that Libyans are also very skillful in finding compromise solutions. And also this oil question that the gentleman in that direction has asked before, I think will be solved through negotiations or through political agreements. One of the big outstanding agreements, political agreements in Libya, is how to construct the Libyan state. Should it be a central state? Should it be a federal state? Most Libyans would say it should be some sort of a federal state. The question is how much, but the principle, I think, is quite clear, and that involves how should our income from natural resources be divided between the central government and the different regions. This is at the core of the movement of people who have blocked the ports. This needs to be solved. I agree with you that this is a big priority, maybe priority number 1, 2, or 3 for Libya to solve this problem, but it will be solved, I'm pretty sure about that, it will be solved through political means.
Okay, thank you. Sie hatten eine Frage.
Herr Professor, Sicherheit braucht eine Grundlage, am besten ein gutes, funktionierendes Rechtssystem. Ihre Bevölkerung braucht ein Rechtssystem, International Business braucht ein Rechtssystem. Demokratie wird noch etwas Zeit brauchen, um zu wachsen, um vielleicht sogar eine Verfassung neu zu bilden. Welches Rechtssystem ist vorstellbar, das Ihre Bevölkerung zufriedenstellt? Ich weiß, da gibt es Familien, die die Mächte ausüben und das aber auch Garantien gibt, eben die Garantie des Rechtes für International Business.
Ja, vor 3 Monaten vielleicht, im Februar, haben wir die Komitee der 60, die sitzen schon und die schreiben neue Verfassung für Libyen. Die sind gefällte Leute von 3 Regionen von Libyen, Süd 20, West 20 und von Ostgebiet auch 20 Mann. Und leider die Zeit von Gaddafi, also seit 1969 ist Libyen ohne Verfassung. Also kann manche fragen, wie ist das Land, wie wird das Land regiert, wie wird das Leben laufen. Aber es wirklich, in Wirklichkeit, wir hatten keine Verfassung, seit dem Idris Senussi nicht mehr an der Macht, die König. Und wir hoffen jetzt, dass die Leute, wir sind stolz auf unsere Großeltern, die ältere Generation, die haben sich zwischen 1949 und 1952 sehr gute Verfassung geschrieben in der Zeit, wo die ganze Welt noch nach Kriegszeiten, aber trotzdem, man sagt, das ist eine von der besten Verfassungen weltweit. Und wir hoffen auch jetzt die neue 16 Komitee-Leute, weil es ist genannt nach, auch früher waren 60 Leute saßen und die haben die Verfassung geschrieben. Und nach der neuen Verfassung wird bestimmt jeder sein Recht wissen und seine Aufgaben auch wissen. Ohne das gibt es keinen Staat. Und danach glaube ich, dann die Stabilität kommt und die stabile Regierung und stabiler Parlament und wir werden die Demokratie richtig betrieben. Und nochmal auf die Frage mit Waffen hier. Man redet hier, Gaddafi leider hat, nachdem er wusste, dass er Krieg verliert, hat die ganze Waffen verteilt, die ganze Kasernen geöffnet und man redet von etwa 20 Millionen Stück Waffen in Libyen. Ich habe mal gehört und Sie wissen, in den USA mal passiert, Strom war weg, kurzer Zeit, die ganze Geschäfte in der Stadt waren geplündert. In Libyen, Gott sei Dank, seit 2011 bis jetzt, die Zahl, die Angriffe auf Diebstähle oder so, die sind sehr begrenzt. Trotz dass zu viel, die Anzahl von Waffen, also Millionen. Und wie Herr Much auch erzählt, wenn man die Zahl der Toten bei Zusammenstoßen und so, das sind immer sehr gering. Trotz dass jeder hat seine Waffe. Man hat vielleicht, Sie haben erzählt, im Taxi, hat seine Waffen beiseite hingelegt oder einer von Ihnen, um die Taschen, also ein Taxi, Sie waren das, ja. Sie wollten in den Taxi einsteigen, da hat hinten 3 Stück Waffen und sagte beiseite, 2 Kalaschnikow, ja. Aber trotzdem, die viele Anzahl von Waffen, aber Gott sei Dank, die Fälle oder die Diebstähle oder die kriminelle Zusammenstöße sind so gering bei uns.
Okay, danke. So, gibt es noch Fragen? Weitere Fragen?
Yes, one question to Mr. Aneizi. You mentioned education, that education is that important for your country. How about the young or the members of the young generation? Are they eager to learn? Do they want to learn? Do they want to go into good schools? Do they want to get good education from universities? Are they aware of the fact that they need education, or is it the other way around?
Yes, well, I think in order to build up an impression about any country, the first thing you do is to go and visit primary school and see how is the education system structured and going on. And from there, you can tell that this country has a future or not. And I personally believe that we need to start from the primary school. We need to start on education because our kids are very much willing to learn. And by experience, when the Libyan kids go to a good standard school, they can quickly get on and pick up and learn and become in the same level of other kids. So yes, education is the first priority that I foresee. And we need to start from primary school to have, like, in 2 generations, we'll have a well-educated people. If we don't start today, we're gonna just waste time. So, yes, education is the key to the country economy flourishing, to the country improvement, to the country success in the future.
One more question, maybe I say it in German because it's zu Herrn Wilsch und Herrn Much. Was wünschen Sie sich denn von der deutschen Bundesregierung in Bezug auf das Verhältnis zu Libyen, in Bezug auf die aktuellen politischen Prozesse in Libyen? Wie soll sich die Bundesregierung positionieren? Was soll sie machen? Was würden Sie empfehlen?
Wollen Sie starten?
I think we should show more presence as Germans, also as government. I mentioned I've been the only one in the last year from German politics who has been there. well, try to solve some of the problems. The weapon problem is especially also a problem of trafficking in the south of Libya. It's a vast country, it's very huge, and the border control is not easy there. You had the conflict spilling over to Mali from the southern Libya with arms and weapons from former guards of Gaddafi. And I think we could do with our technologies something good there to enhance border control in the south of the country.
Well, you asked for a wish list. I don't have to come up with a new wish list, because in a way that wish list already exists. There was a big conference of about 20 countries who are particularly friends with Libya and particularly committed to helping Libya, the conference that took place in Rome. And at this conference, Foreign Minister Steinmeier set out exactly what we are ready to give to Libya. And that includes many different things. We are going to support Libya in building up its police, the diplomatic police, and the one that protects personalities and embassies. We are going to help Libya, as we have done already, in its disarmament. We have been very active already in demining, defusing mines, collecting small weapons. We have, together with the United States and Canada, destroyed all remnants of chemical weapons that existed and secured a center for nuclear energy research that Gaddafi had used for a dirty bomb program. And we're going to continue to help Libya in that field. The French Foreign Minister and Foreign Minister Steinmeier have pledged publicly that we are going to build ammunition bunkers so that all these ammunition that are lying around all over the country will at least be stored in a safe place, so that they're not in a supermarket anymore where you can take them and sell them on the black market, but they will be safe. We have offered to help Libya in the field of local governance, building up local administrations. We are supporting very much NGOs, civil society in Libya. These are not big projects. This is not one big elephant where you can say, wow, what a nice big elephant, but these are 100 small bees that we are supporting. We are trying to set up a better system of academic cooperation, and we are ready to help several of the institutions, assist several of the institutions which are necessary for Libya's transitional process, which is, for instance, a commission they created for so-called transitional justice, a commission that will deal with questions of dealing with the past, documenting the past, preparing for a process of reconciliation, etc. We have offered to assist in this committee of 60 that is drawing up the new constitution. By the way, I fully agree with Mr. Alamin that this is an absolutely wonderful body composed of great experts with a great president who really is an intellectual by every international standard. So, I mean, this is the wish list which we have put on the table. The only thing that is really remaining open with that wish list is that sometimes, and I'm saying that very frankly, the capacity of the Libyan government to react to all that and to say, yes, we like it, and this is the body that will implement the project together with you, that this is a slow process. It's not impossible, it's moving, but it's a slow process. And my wish would be that this would be a little quicker.
just let me add two more things, because we have the practical examples for that. What I also think where we can cooperate and can help is serving medical care. The fact that well, our voting in the Security Council was not a point of long-lasting criticism, was that we really helped very early with operations, bringing the people to Germany, having them in the clinics here, giving them medical care and all that, where we really did a good job. Mr. Döringer was engaged in that field, and what they are also doing there is field of education, vocational training, not only academics but also vocational training, where really experienced in Germany, all the world, wherever we go, they say, oh, how do you make this, that you don't have jobless young people or only a small number? It's of course because of our systems we can offer and we can export. So this I just wanted to add.
Well, I think these were very good closing remarks. So I would like to thank the panelists for their insights. And I think we should applaud them. And I hand over to...
Thank you very much, Carola. Thank you very much for the very interesting panel discussion. It was great to have you here, and I'm looking forward to having more discussions with you tonight. Kind of a drink together and can be at the nice terrace and discuss more about Libya, or on that following up event, which will probably take place in October or November, where we'll discuss about Libya and relationships between Libya and Germany again. Thank you very much. Ich wechsle jetzt nochmal ins Deutsche, weil die nächste Veranstaltung der Montagsgesellschaft wieder auf komplett Deutsch sein wird, ein deutsches Thema behandelt wird, aber auch einen internationalen Horizont natürlich haben wird. Wir werden uns wieder mit Bildung beschäftigen. Wir werden in bereits 2 Wochen, am 17. Juni, die 2. Frankfurter Bildungskonferenz durchführen. Wir hatten letztes Jahr zu ungefähr genau dem gleichen Zeitpunkt schon eine Bildungskonferenz. Uns ist diesmal gelungen, den Professor Lorz, den aktuellen Kultusminister, zu gewinnen für diese Veranstaltung. Ferner wird Frau Sorge, die Bildungsdezernentin aus Frankfurt, mit dabei sein und die Vorsitzende des Stadtelternbeirates aus Frankfurt. Und wir werden über die Frage reden, beziehungsweise die These diskutieren, Finanzplatz top, Schulen am Finanzplatz flop, Fragezeichen. Das steht am 17. Juni an. Wenn Sie auf dem Verteiler der Montagsgesellschaft sind, werden Sie schon eine Einladung bekommen haben. Wir freuen uns, wenn Sie dazukommen. Dann noch ein organisatorischer Hinweis für heute. Wie Sie alle wissen, ist die Montagsgesellschaft eine Non-Profit-Organisation. Ich bitte Sie, wir bitten Sie, dass Sie die Getränke und die Dinge heute Abend ganz normal bezahlen. Ja, dann noch ein Gruß in die Kamera hinein. Die Veranstaltung, Sie haben es im Vorfeld gesehen, beziehungsweise in die Kameras, muss ich sagen. Die Sehen Sie, so kann es passieren. Noch ein Gruß in die Kamera hinein, beziehungsweise ein Gruß in die Kameras hinein. Da oben ist die nächste. Sie haben es im Vorfeld gesehen, wir übertragen die Veranstaltung heute über einen Livestream ins Internet hinein, und wir haben viele Zuhörer über das Internet. Ich habe gerade während der Veranstaltung schon E-Mails bekommen, wo mir Leute E-Mails geschrieben haben, gesagt haben, Mensch, tolle Veranstaltung. Der eine sitzt gerade in Zürich und hat die ganze Veranstaltung zugehört. Also wir sind nicht nur hier im Raum, sondern wir sind auch im virtuellen Raum. Tolle Sache. Und die zweite Kamera ist Hessen TV. Schön, dass Sie da sind. Herzlich willkommen, und wir freuen uns, dass die Veranstaltung auch über Hessen TV übertragen wird. So, herzlichen Dank nochmal. Thank you very much to all the participants tonight, and I will hand over for a final word the microphone to Ms. Nguyen from the Diplomatic Council. She has one organizational thing to do, And I think that's a very good thing to do, and it will be for the ambassador and for you as well. Hang Nguyen, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me without the microphone? I'd better use the microphone. All right. Your Excellency, dear speakers, members and friends of the Diplomatic Council and of the Montagsgesellschaft, thank you very much for this interesting discussion. I can see the audience enjoyed it very much, at least so did I. This evening, the Diplomatic Council has jointly invited to this event with the Montagsgesellschaft, as we have done before. Our cooperation in the past has worked out well, and so we decided to continue on this. Tonight, we are very delighted to have such elaborate speakers, amongst them 2 diplomats. And talking about diplomats, let me tell you how the Diplomatic Council and diplomats fit well together. The core value for the foundation of the Diplomatic Council was to encourage international relations and to contribute the power of diplomacy for peace everywhere on earth. Worldwide collaboration is the only instrument which may help in solving international problems on any level, economical, social, cultural, or humanitarian. The respect of human rights and fundamental freedom of people without differentiations in races, gender, or religion should be cultivated and strengthened. Hence, we have established the Diplomatic Council as a non-governmental, civil society think tank organization with the objective to serve as a bridge between diplomacy on the one hand and economy and society on the other hand. As members, we welcome not solely representatives of the diplomatic or consular corps, but also personalities from industry, politics, society, culture, etc. Since our foundation around 3 years ago, diplomats from over 40 nations have joined us until today. The Diplomatic Council strongly believes that a thriving economy bringing prosperity to mankind is one of the best peace guarantors. This revelation was the motivation for us to translate our goal of international understanding into an economic mandate. This is accomplished by linking our global business network to the diplomatic communication level of our member countries. Our skilled experts and leaders play a key role in consulting our diplomats on how the economic principles can be transferred into the global diplomatic network. Vice versa, our diplomats and consuls shall use their diplomatic competencies to warrant that the economic activities shall ultimately promote understanding amongst nations and safeguard peace. Against this background, the Diplomatic Council welcomes in particular those diplomats and personalities who enjoy high degrees of acceptance and high levels of expertise and skills. Looking at the audience, I see only highly accepted and highly skilled personalities. But my attention is especially focused on 2 diplomats. As I've told you before, the Diplomatic Council is represented by diplomats from over 40 nations, and we are really proud to add another nation tonight. They are exactly what enrich the Diplomatic Council: open-minded, communicative, and committed to promoting international understanding and safeguarding peace, at the same time seeking to collaborate with the economy for the mutual benefits of both parties involved. We are very honored and pleased that both Ambassador Sunusi Kivea, who is represented by his cultural attaché today because he's in hospital, and Ambassador Christian Much have decided to be part of the Diplomatic Council. On behalf of our ambassador circle, I wish to welcome them to our Diplomatic Council family, and I would like them to join me here so I can hand over their certificates. the ambassador. He sent my best wishes to him, and I hope he's doing very well. Herr Botschafter, wir können Deutsch miteinander sprechen.
Ja,
schön, dass Sie dabei sind. Wir freuen uns
Vielen Dank.
sehr.
Vielen Dank
Ja,
für Ihre Initiative und das ist eine große Ehre.
Ja, wir
Dankeschön.
freuen uns. Das war's von meiner Seite. Ich gebe zurück Herrn Stefan Södgen.
Von meiner Seite war es das im Grunde auch. Also ich wünsche uns noch einen schönen Abend. Wir können an die Bar gehen, wir können auf die Terrasse gehen bei dem schönen Wetter und können noch einen schönen Abend zusammen haben. Schön, dass Sie da waren. Vielen Dank. Und wenn Sie möchten, die Veranstaltung wird auch, da sie ja komplett gefilmt ist, dann auf der Internetseite der Montagsgesellschaft abrufbar sein. Also Sie können sie im Nachhinein auch nochmal anschauen. Und ich habe mich jetzt gerade noch mehr gefreut und das ist jetzt nochmal eine Nachricht in den virtuellen Raum hinein. Also als ich gerade begrüßt habe, habe ich schon wieder Reaktionen darauf bekommen. Also es ist wirklich so, dass wir hier viele Zuhörer noch haben.
Hallo, hallo.